Schlockmeister fans, I've had actually several people request over the last couple years to watch Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I have the Blu-ray collection now, so I watched it today. Let's check it out. Our movie starts with an older guy running from something. And he's found. Thankfully for him, as he's being attacked, he's able to pull on the chain which releases this car and is going to effectively squish his attacker. The guy got away, and meanwhile at a local gas station, here's what's on TV. The guy that was being chased bursts into the gas station. Here's our star, Tom Atkins, at the house of his ex-wife and his two kids.
Turn that down.
This is Chavez. When?
He's a doctor.
They're going to kill us. All of us. All of us. 100 milligrams, Thorazine.
Later that night, when he's in the hospital, in his room by himself, somebody comes in and finishes the job. Dr. Dan there chases the guy out the door. And the guy kills himself. This is Ellie, the daughter of the guy who died.
I saw something that night. I don't know, your father came into the hospital and I thought he was crazy, out of his mind. He's hanging onto a Halloween mask, he wouldn't let it go. And what he said was, they're gonna kill us all.
So Dan and Ellie decided to do some investigating on their own by going to the town where the father had gone to. Father owned a little grocery store and sold a lot of silver Shamrock Halloween masks, and apparently he came to this town to pick up an order. So they stop at a hotel and pose as a couple, and he checks the registry from the week before, and sure enough, her dad had been there. This place is in the middle of nowhere, this city.
Penny Pie.
Apparently some guy named Cochran runs the whole town.
Hey, Cochran! Fuck you!
Owns the Silver Shamrock Toy Company, too.
He's probably listening. If he is,
Cameras all over
I got
town.
one thing to say.
Well, Cochran must have heard this guy screaming, and a couple of his thugs come out and rip his head off. Meanwhile, Dan and Ellie are turning into a couple. In the hotel room next door to them, this woman who's there to get an order from the factory finds this little silver shamrock chip of some sort. And oops.
Who cares?
And it did some major damage to her face.
The very best possible treatment.
Here we meet Mr. Cochran.
Where are they taking her?
They're taking her to the factory. We've the most marvelous facility there for emergency treatment.
Why?
Meanwhile, the coroner friend of his who's investigating
There would have to be some bone fragments or teeth or
the
something.
guy who killed Ellie's
I've got
father.
nothing here to indicate there was ever a body at all. Just ashes and car parts. How about you?
Listen, Teddy, do me another favor. Strangely
They managed to finagle a tour of the factory.
There's another one. They look an awful lot like the man who killed your father.
And then Ellie's going to notice something even more disturbing. Her father's car.
Oh my God!
What?
That's Papa's car!
Later on, he goes back to the hotel. Ellie's not there. And trouble. Before they get him, he's able to sneak out the back bathroom window, though.
Where is she?
He managed to get away. He actually sneaks into the factory then. He finds a robot lady. He gets attacked and gets into a fight and punches the guy right through the belly. And he's caught. Cochrane's secret?
Ancient sacrificial
He
system.
stole a piece of Stonehenge.
Stonehenge. We had a time getting it in.
Apparently the rocks have an incredible power inside them.
Believe how we did it. It's fine.
Some of Cochrane's customers
About some television commercials or something.
have been recruited
I
to
still can't figure out why they won't take my orders for next year.
review an
I like to work
a commercial for an experiment.
interested at all.
So the experiment starts, the kid puts on his mask like the commercial told him to do, and we've instantly got a problem. The kid's head basically dissolves, bugs and snakes come out, and pretty soon Mom and Dad are dead too. Back in the coroner's office, she figured out there's actually nobody there, it's just robot parts, basically. And somebody gets to her. Here we get a little bit of Cochrane's motive.
Sacrifices. A part of our world. Our craft. Witchcraft.
To us, it was a way of controlling our environment.
He slips a mask on Dan, and then in about an hour and 15 minutes, all the TV channels are going to be showing the Silver Shamrock Halloween special.
And happy Halloween.
Of course, he's able to break out of there pretty easily. Now he's got about an hour left to save the world. He's calling his ex-wife and telling him, or take the masks away from the kids.
Linda, listen.
So he finds a box full of these chips, sets off the Silver Shamrock thing to go on all the TVs, and all of our robots short circuit. As for Mr. Cochrane, well, he's just gonna melt and disappear. In the car as they drive away, Ellie has changed. They're gonna get into a car accident here. Turns out Ellie's been robotized. He immediately calls the TV stations to try to get the show off before it starts.
If it goes out, it means the death of millions of people, everyone watching. Don't you understand that?
So he gets it off of one channel and a second channel,
Technical difficulties. Please stand by.
but then there's also a third channel.
Dark masks, gather round.
Turn it off. Stop it.
He can't get it off this channel.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
All right, let's talk about Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Boy, this is a film. I hadn't seen it in a very, very long time. It's a movie that I had on a beta tape. I also had the DVD of it until I got the Blu-ray recently. I saw it on cable many, many times when I was a kid. I remember being in I don't know, like 6th grade or something when this came out on cable, and everybody was singing that little jingle, 2 more days till Halloween, Silver Shamrock. That is one of those things that gets in your head. It's an earworm, and it stays there forever and ever and ever. I hadn't seen this movie in years and years and years, and of course, I can remember every line from that, because it's very catchy. So anyway, this is a sequel to Halloween 2. Has absolutely nothing to do with the first 2 Halloween movies. There's a brief scene where the doctor is chained up or tied up in a chair, and he's actually forced to watch television. And of course, Halloween is on the TV. That's the only connection we have to the previous 2 films. It's just a standalone movie, basically, about a guy who's, I don't know what his motives are, actually, some sort of witchcraft thing. Is he trying to take over the world? I don't know, with robots and killing people. But he has a way that he's going to, whenever the people put these masks on and listen to that stupid jingle, their heads turn into mush, and bugs and snakes and all kinds of things come out of those heads once they collapse. And everybody dies. So that's what's going on here. I had totally forgotten the angle regarding Stonehenge. Yeah, that's how this movie has happened. I mean, it's if you think about it, it's an absolutely preposterous plot. Stonehenge has some powers that makes this happen. I know, it's crazy. And the fact that he stole a piece of Stonehenge and brought it back to California, whatever, right? But anyway, I can't say that I didn't enjoy this movie, because I did. I enjoyed it quite a bit, actually. Again, as a standalone feature, I think it's pretty awesome. There was a couple of decent gore scenes, actually. Eye-gouging stuff, man, that stuff just makes me cringe. I think there was one brief nude scene with Stacey Nelkin, the woman in this movie. She had a shower scene. Maybe if you looked really close, I don't know. She was wrapping a blanket around herself pretty quick. But again, no Michael Myers in this movie. So I think this should have been just a completely standalone film, have not even named Halloween. It would have been better. But this film has developed some sort of a cult following over the years, and Halloween fans really seem to dig it. I dig it too, but not in a Halloween sense. It's just, like I said, a standalone film. I also got to point out the soundtrack. I really, really enjoyed the soundtrack. I don't know if it was the same guys who did the soundtrack for the first 2 films, but I really, really enjoyed that a lot. I think it was very well done. So anyway, you can get Halloween 3 in various formats. It's on a Blu-ray now as a standalone Blu-ray, or you can get this little fancy 10-disc collection, which has all 10 Halloween movies thus far on one collection here too. You can get this for maybe about $40 or so. Still available, maybe 40 to 50 in that range, maybe a little less if you're lucky. I have a feeling this is going to go out of print sometime, and it's going to get costly, just like the Friday the 13th series is. So go get this film if you like these films. So let me know what you think about it. I'm sure everybody's seen Halloween 3. Let me know. Leave some comments down below. We'll talk about it. Halloween 3. Watch it. Bye.